And in a Newsmax.com exclusive, former CIA Director James Woolsey says the U.S. is closer to war with North Korea today than at any time he can remember. Woolsey adds the communist country can use the satellite to wipe out 90% of the population in the United States within a year. The full article you can read on Newsmax.com. I'd encourage you to go there, but here now to talk more about this is Newsmax CEO Christopher Ruddy. Chris, welcome to the program.
Bill, thanks for having me on.
You know, Chris, this is a kind of scary warning. Admiral Woolsey, who I've met and talked to many times over the years, is a sober guy. Did he really mean that 90% of American population is at risk?
Well, we have a story on Newsmax which I'll refer to, which includes an interview with Director Woolsey, who oversaw the CIA, but has been involved, Bill, with national security since the 1960s. And he has warned the president and the administration and Congress about a sort of a loophole threat that could destroy the United States. And we all know that North Korea has nuclear devices. They now have thermonuclear devices. They at least tested one. Apparently, the concern has been whether they have the delivery systems to strike the United States. Most people believe they do not have the delivery system yet to do that, although they're getting closer. Woolsey, in his interview on Newsmax.com, says that they actually can strike us very effectively with a nuclear warhead right now. The way they would do it is not launch an ICBM, but use a very simple rocket and pop up a satellite into orbit, a satellite that would easily go over the United States. And if this nuclear device was detonated over high in the orbit, low altitude above the United States, above the Earth, 200 or 300 miles up, it would wipe out most of the electronics through what's known as an electromagnetic pulse. And if that happened, there have been estimates that up to 90% of the U.S. population could perish if that happened.
Chris, it's Tom Borelli. That's actually a very frightening scenario that Mr. Woolsey laid out. Do you read anything into the timing about his willingness to talk about this issue, given that, recently there's a glimmer of good news with respect to North Korea and South Korea, starting to talk?
Well, I don't want to represent Director Woolsey. We're just talking about what we're breaking on Newsmax, and that story and the development about those talks, I think, are welcome, but a lot of people think that they're window dressing. I spoke earlier today with John Bolton, and he thought that it was just theater, that they were not really serious about coming to any conclusion. He does not believe that the North Koreans are going to give up either their nuclear weapons program or their ballistic missile. Now, President Trump's made very clear that he's not going to allow them to get missiles to strike the United States. The important development that Director Woolsey's raising is that he's claiming they do not need a ICBM, a ballistic missile. They just need a satellite. And they already have in space, according to the director, 2 to 4 satellites that are orbiting our country and the Earth.